You can call them whatever you want. Hoodlums, criminals, rampaging youth. Doesn't matter. What does matter is that these individuals who've been looting and destroying property around the country are Nigerians. All of them. The events of the past few weeks are a clear indication that the government has for many years ignored a vital demographic, its youth. And now the chickens have come home to roost. What should be topmost on the mind of government right now is how to engage this section of society. The government says they have, and many youth are not taking advantage of the initiatives targeted at them. This fault line is one that needs the utmost attention, and we walk that line this Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Magwa. Today we take on a very crucial fault line, one that has shown in the last few weeks that problems don't just go away. They must be fixed or they will come back and bite you where it hurts. Look at the recent lootings. Listen, looting has a dynamic. When the looters are done with warehouses and government officials, guess who's next? You and me. Youth unemployment can cripple a nation. We're talking 27.1% across the country. Now, we've heard of so many intervention programs directed at engaging young people, especially getting them to start small businesses. What are these programs, and why are so many people still unemployed? Our feature story sheds light on these issues. The Federal Capital Territory has an estimated population of about 3.6 million people, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. It may be safe to say that half of this population in the FCT are young people, as the National Population Commission states that about half of the nation's estimated population of 200 million are between the ages of 15 and 34. Unfortunately, as the youth population grows, so does the unemployment rate. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics reveals Nigeria's unemployment rate, as at the second quarter of 2020, to be 27.1%. The relocating of the federal government seat of power from Lagos to Abuja has caused tremendous influx of people from 1991 till date. The high influx has caused a whole lot of social-economic problems, including overcrowding, competition, and most importantly, high unemployment. Small businesses provide opportunities to engage young people, many of whom came into the nation's capital in search of the proverbial greener pasture. A national survey in 2017 by the National Bureau of Statistics notes that small businesses are crucial for economic growth, industrialization, and addressing unemployment.
We have over 4.5 million SMEs.
There are several initiatives by government to encourage young people to engage small business. The Conditional Grant Scheme is one of such, and the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria is training 600 youth drawn from the 6 area councils in the Federal Capital Territory.
The objectives of this scheme are moving the macro enterprise from informal sector to the formal sector. Given the fact that majority of the macro enterprises in the country are informal in nature and most of them are residing in the rural communities of our country. Creating jobs and wealth and poverty alleviation in the society, enhancing the competitiveness of this enterprise toward meeting the national, regional, and global standards, improving the internally generated revenue of the 3 tiers of government, federal, state, and local governments, improving the human, technological, and financial capacity of the operators of the macro enterprises in the country. Methodology for the implementation of the program are as follows: identification of the beneficiaries and partners where they conduct their businesses, sensitization and need assessment, entrepreneurship training to be provided, registration of the enterprises with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and the registration is going to be paid by SMEDAN, opening of bank account at their doorsteps, delivery of the grants through the accounts, provision of macro insurance for 1 year so that we de-risk the business, follow up with the monitoring and evaluation and impact assessment of the program. The eligibility of the prospective beneficiaries of the scheme is based on the business registration or willingness to register their enterprises. The need for additional investment, lack of access to formal finance, proof of address of the enterprise in the local government, and personal identification. Above all, the enterprises must have progressive economic potentials. The scheme also has provision for the award of excellence for the high-performing enterprises in all the local governments selected in the states, to reward hard work and success and to encourage higher performance from other enterprises.
The scheme is part of efforts to galvanize support for micro, small and medium enterprises and facilitate the ease of doing business in the nation's capital. The Abuja Enterprise Agency hosts the one-stop shop for MSMEs, and the scheme is expected to contribute to the growth of small business in Abuja.
Here in the FCT, through the innovative actions of the Abuja Enterprise Agency, we've been able to create 15,622 jobs and 3,486 enterprises. We have also grown 22,224 businesses and promoted entrepreneurship to over 21,743 households. Through the agency again, the FCT administration has also expanded access to finance services to include provision of various grants and loans to financially disadvantaged communities in the FCT. A total of 6,524 people have benefited so far. Our One Village, One Product project in its pilot stage is a novel initiative which has empowered over 266 women and 200 farmers and has also increased farm yield in the various communities where it has commenced. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere hope that the conditional grant scheme, if properly deployed and implemented in its full potential, will create millions of jobs, not just in the FCT, but across the entire country.
According to a survey conducted by SMEDAN, there are over 4.5 million small businesses in the nation's capital. The study further states that these businesses are populated by those at the bottom of the pyramid in terms of the nation's economic demography. This is why they need some sort of support. 24-year-old Kabir Yakubu runs one of such small businesses. Every day he comes here to fry eggs and make noodles as a quick meal for workers within the Garki Area 2 vicinity. He hopes to expand his business by accessing the SMEDAN conditional grant scheme, especially after the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our thanks go to the DG of SMEDAN, who has created a good opportunity to make us a self-reliance so that we can defend on ourselves and other people also can benefit from what we have gained from that. So my hopes and prayers, my other people beneficiaries, let them have this, let them not misuse this opportunity. Let them use it in a good way so that they can help themselves and other people also benefit from them. So through this, government can put more effort to help others like the government helped me now. I know many of my partners and colleagues and also some people like me. Because of this pandemic, our business is run down. So with help of this, and alhamdulillah, everything now is just coming up small. I wish I have more people under me. At least I have reduced something. So I need more capacity so that I can employ people that can wash for me, supply something for me. It's not necessary that I'm cook. I'm also doing something here and also take something for somewhere else.
40-year-old Mohammed Husseini is also a beneficiary of the scheme, and he's hoping to engage more young people in his business.
If the transaction has been done fine, we are going to expand our businesses. We will use the money to look for other people who don't have something to do and remove something from it. Give them, let them start doing something. If the money is enough, I can assist my brothers to join me in opening small type of places like this. And if the money is not too much, then I will invest it inside this my shop and continue with my business, because I faced some problems that brought me down totally. I have been staying for more than 3 years without doing anything. So this idea of start small, think big is an idea that can boost your. It's an idea that can boost you to have enough. It's an idea that boosted me.
And they don't need any electricity.
Another scheme that is aimed at improving the living condition of the nation's young population is the Presidential Youth Empowerment Scheme. President Muhammadu Buhari launched the second phase, which is targeted at employing 1,000 youth from each of the local government areas in the country. 6,000 persons will be empowered in the FCT.
May I humbly inform Mr. President that my office is now the repository of nearly 1.2 million categorized database of applicants to PS program obtained from all parts of the country that contains different professional groupings like barbers, motor vehicle and motorcycle mechanics, small-scale commodity processors, shoe shiners, shoemakers, tailors, and many other unskilled and semi-skilled professions that cater for the livelihoods of millions of Nigerians. It is expected that this database that has been disaggregated into age, gender, and employment groupings can in time become nucleus of a potential national youth development agency under the presidency that may be considered to coordinate and articulate Mr. President's youth empowerment programs and accelerate Mr. President's declared policy of lifting 100 million, majority of which are youth, out of poverty in 10 years' time, as part of Mr. President's legacy programs.
President Muhammadu Buhari describes the program as the cornerstone of his administration, seeing as a vast number of those 100 million people he plans to lift out of poverty are young people.
I call upon all state governments, ministries, and other government departments and agencies to factor the Presidential Youth Empowerment Scheme in their programs to assist the youth to realize their potentials in their chosen fields. I call upon local and foreign private sector operators in Nigeria to also contribute their share to the expansion of this program through channeling their corporate social responsibility efforts towards skills acquisition, creation of startups, and other intervention measures.
Businesses in the nation's capital can take advantage of the COVID-19 economic stimulus package. The package, which is part of the nation's economic sustainability plan, is targeting to impact over 1.7 million Nigerians. Abuja's population is about 3.3 million residents. According to the United Nations, Abuja grew by 139.7% between 2000 and 2010, making it the fastest growing city in the world. As of 2015, the city is experiencing an annual growth of at least 35%, retaining its position as the fastest growing city on the African continent and one of the fastest growing in the world. Mr. Tola Johnson is the special advisor on MSME to the Vice President, and he's my guest today on the program. He knows firsthand what initiatives are out there for young people to partake in and breaks down how they can take advantage of these initiatives. I also tried to find out from him if these initiatives are sufficient for Nigeria's ever-growing population and why so many people have not heard of these programs. Mr. Tola Johnson, it's so nice to speak with you today.
Thank you very much for having me.
There's this grant, let me even be specific, it's a conditional grant scheme. It's 600 youths in the FCT. And apparently the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency just launched this conditional grant scheme. How is that different from the Survival Fund? Because I've seen posts about that, which will be extended to other states as well. And, do you have a role to play in the SMEDAN scheme, for instance? Just help us break this down a little bit.
Everyone has a role to play in this SMEDAN scheme. It's either you're applying or you're getting the money. However, this scheme started, I believe this started in sometime February 2020. So I think they go from state to state to identify skilled MSMEs, to train them and ensure that you have a CAC number, and I think they now give you these grants. Basically, it's a 50,000 naira grant that they identify the MSMEs that they give to. Now, for the Survivor Fund, I don't know the number that they are doing, SMEDAN, I don't think, I'm not sure the exact number that they are doing. But for the Survivor Fund is meant to target, or it's meant to benefit 1.7 million people across the country. 1.7 million businesses and individuals across the country. So under the Survivor Fund, we have the payroll support that will pay 500,000 individuals across the country every month for 3 months. 500,000 individuals across the country every month for 3 months. That will take care of almost 100,000 businesses. We have the artisan and transport scheme, which we started now. As we speak, states have started enumerating, and I think at some point they will now start receiving the money. It's a 30,000 naira one-off payment for the artisan and transport scheme. They start enumerating for the artisan. When we are done with the artisans, we'll now go straight to the transport one. From there, we'll move to formalization of businesses. The government is trying to help formalize 250,000 business names. 250,000. It means that there are a lot of, if you're an SME who's been running a business, no, you are not formalized, you have no documentation to your business. This is an opportunity to take advantage of the federal government's scheme to register 250,000 new businesses. The general MSME grants will pay 100,000 MSMEs 50,000 naira each to cushion the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on their businesses. 50,000 naira each for 100,000 businesses. We now have another scheme called the guaranteed offtake. What that will do is to inject some fund into MSMEs that are in the production line. You produce face masks, hand sanitizer, soap, disinfectants, all sorts of things, processed food. You will be encouraged to produce these things in your state. The federal government will inject those products. You produce it in your state. The federal government will not guarantee, they will take that thing off you. They pay you in exchange for those your products, and those products will be distributed in your state to those that need it. So it's a way of just saying to the MSMs that we know you've been through a lot from March till about now. We are not going to, we might not give you what you think you will have made, but this is a way of the federal government saying take something to cushion the effect of pandemic in your business. But however, in this case, in the guaranteed offtake case, as opposed to just giving you free, do something, because once you give somebody 150,000 naira, for instance, to produce a mask or to do whatever it is that they are supposed to produce, that money will trickle down. He or she will take that money, go to a place, purchase something. That person will, so it will. What it will do is that it will catalyze a lot of activities going on in that space, and that also helps the economy as well.
This sounds really nice on paper. I mean, no one is blind to what's going on in the whole nation right now. Many young people are on the streets, you know, and it's because they keep saying, look, our government needs to do, it's not just about the SARS, ending SARS. It's more a question of this is the condition that we find ourselves as people, and we want a better country for ourselves. And you're coming from the government side, and you're telling me about all these grants that have been done already, the ones that are being planned. How do you monitor beneficiaries? Who are these beneficiaries? There are many young people today many people who own small businesses. They'll tell you today that they hear these things on TV. It sounds alien to them. They've never been able to partake in this. So how do you monitor beneficiaries of these funds?
For the first time, I believe that what we've done is that we studied other schemes that the government has had over time, past governments. Some of them were successful. Why were they successful? Some of them were not too successful. Why were they not too successful? Some of them were outright failures. Why were they failures? And that's how we came up with a lot of these schemes. Now, what we decided was that let's take the case of the payroll support, where we'll pay as much as 10 of your staff in some cases. If you have up to 50 staff, maybe between 3 to 10 staff, we'll help pay their salaries, either 30,000 or 50,000. The government will, for instance, if you have 50 staff, the government will pay 10 of your staff, 50,000 per staff. If you pay them above 50,000, 50,000 per staff for 3 months. So that's 500,000 naira injection into your payroll. 1 month, 2 months, month 3. In some cases, if you have staff that you pay below 50,000 but above 30,000, we'll pay you the minimum wage. We'll pay your staff the minimum wage, 30,000. But you see, the catch here is that the money does not even go to you. That's the sponsor or the owner of the business that has applied for this loan. We'll give you. You are the one that will go online to apply, but you are the one that will tell us we have 50. I have 50 staff, but I'm giving you a list of these 10 staff to pay for me for the next 3 months. I have 20 staff. I'm giving you a list of these 10 staff to pay for me for 10 months. The money goes directly to the staff.
But it's the employer that puts the account numbers.
Yes, but it's the employer that puts the account numbers.
Is there any way of verifying that the...
Oh, yes. Okay. Because what happens...
the account number actually belongs to the staff.
Yes. Because what we have done in all our schemes, the most important feature is the BVN. And you know, you cannot use... 2 people cannot use 1 BVN. So that's what we have done. We have ensured that in all the schemes, we must have your BVN. So we are going to pay directly to the beneficiaries. Even in the artisan scheme, where they are coming under the umbrella of associations, unions, and whatnot, the money, the associations and unions will help us populate them. Oh, we know these people, this is their association number, this is their BVN, this is their this. When this is time to pay, when we eventually start paying, they get the money directly.
Many young people have obviously lost confidence in government, and so many of them don't see themselves as beneficiaries of schemes like these lofty ones that you're talking about. And just to be clear, like, these are schemes that are supposed to cushion MSMEs rather. These are schemes that are supposed to cushion MSMEs during this COVID period. There are many young people who say they have no idea. So what are you doing to get more people on board? Because all this is out there for people and people don't know or aren't aware. What's your plan? Despite the fact that many people may not have trust in government, what's your plan to get more people on board?
The payroll support opened on the 21st of September. It opened about 11 p.m. that night. The next day, on the 22nd, it was the #1 trending topic all over.
How many people enrolled?
Oh, within the first 24 hours, 140 something thousand. I think 142,000 to be precise. Within the first 24 hours, it was the number one topic.
Is there a figure as to how many people have enrolled so far?
As we speak right now, we have over 442 or thereabouts.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tola Johnson, for speaking with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And good luck.
Thank you.
While the nation counts the losses from the aftermath of that nationwide looting and destruction, a wise government will plan on how this does not repeat itself again. Will the government take the lessons from this? If you have a young unemployed individual in your house, this episode of Dateline Abuja is dedicated to you. And don't worry if you tuned in late. You can watch this episode on our YouTube channel showing right now on your screen, and you can contact us using any of our social media handles. It is crucial these days to let us know the happenings in your neighborhood. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Megwa. See you next time.